because we need to benefit those who may not be able to come. When everybody comes, I will talk about the project. Okay, it's very straightforward, very simple, and so that we can all do it right.
Oh, okay. Um, do you have any particular like word counts for like the assignments and the discussion board responses?
No, there is no requirement about a word count, like 100 words or 1,000 words. No.
Okay.
Respond to the question as accurately as possible. Try to get the correct answers, and also comment on two other participants. And just saying I agree with you is not sufficient. If I see that, I'm going to deduct points. Uh, you have to, provide some explanation or give an example. Explain why you agree or disagree or even concur with um, the response of whoever you are commenting on.
Okay. So this is for the peer response. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, also in regards to the assignments and the discussion board, are you requiring us to use references outside of the readings that you already assigned us?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. What is going to happen is that when you are responding, sometimes I do refer to specific readings or YouTube videos, and I need to see an answer that reflects that you actually watched the video or that you read the document or the chapter of the book. And the reason quite simply is that AI is making it difficult to know who has studied and who has not. For example, I asked a question about a specific article. What students do is they go to AI and generate an answer. Okay. And it is true that AI can answer a lot of questions. But if I refer to a specific document, AI is not going to know what that document is. It might generate an answer that answers the question in some other context, but it will not make reference to the document that I asked you to read. And so when somebody does that, I will give them a failing grade. I'm serious about it. Um,
Okay. Just to make sure we're on the same page with you, all the discussion boards are due by 11:59 p.m.
yes,
because I
yes.
realized, okay, because when I was looking at your assignment deadlines, the one that's due for today is for 8 p.m. and then the other ones
Okay.
are 11:59.
No, no, I'm going to go and correct it. Thank you for pointing that out. Let me correct it while we are here.
Okay. The final exam, is it based on the readings?
It is going to be based 90% on the readings.
Sorry, I didn't hear. You said it's based on the readings or no?
I said yes, it will be based
Oh, okay.
90% on the readings. If you do not read the specific articles that I'm going to that I reference, you are likely going to get a very poor grade.
Okay. Do you provide like a review sheet?
There is no need for a review sheet. Um, there's no need for a review sheet, but I'm going to provide examples of how to answer questions. Um, let's see. I'm trying
Sorry, one
to,
second.
okay, I see. No, this is going to be due at 11:59 p.m. I have corrected it.
The other thing is also I feel like there's a mix-up of dates on for the which are due for the discussion board. So
Okay.
it's confusing. Like for example, let me make sure before I don't want to say the wrong thing. Let me just pull it up. So like, for example, you have on the syllabus, it says complete writing assignment. Oh, wait, so that wouldn't be discussion board. So I'm trying to understand this. It says complete writing assignment due July 22nd. And when I look in the assignment tab, I don't see anything listed there that's for July 22nd.
Which module is that?
Module 4.
Module 4. Okay, module 4 is not due yet, but I will gladly look at that. Module 4. Okay.
And then it's the same thing right after that. You have you asked us to complete a writing assignment for the 24th. And never mind. I see that. Never mind.
22 is the due date. 22 is the due date. Module 4 is the due date.
Right. I realize that. So never mind the
Okay.
second one, just the 22nd when I see there wasn't anything there.
Yeah, okay, what I meant, you said there's no assignment for that day?
Sorry, could you say that one more time? I'm having a
Let
hard
me
time.
see. Let me see. There's a discussion forum, World Health, that is due on the 22nd. I will share my screen so that you can see.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
You see, July 22 is World Health.
That's the discussion one.
Yeah,
Oh, but that doesn't say, in the syllabus, it doesn't say the discussion. It says a writing assignment.
well, the discussion is writing assignment. So
Oh, okay. Because since you mentioned like the assignments and the discussions are separate, that's why I was like, I'm confused.
don't be confused.
Okay, so I'll just write discussion.
So that's due for the 22nd. But on discussion board, you're seeing it for the 25th though.
Yeah, that was the other one that I was gonna bring up too. I realized the same thing too. Like on the syllabus, it says afterwards, there's a discussion board assignment due July 26th, but then the World Health one says it's due 25th.
Second. Okay, let me look at that.
Excuse
Okay.
me, you said to only do the discussion board?
Let me see. Module 4, July 21 to 22. Yeah, complete
Can you hear me?
assignment July 20. Yes, I can hear you.
I'm
Module 6 is due July 26, and module 5 is due July 24. It's on the syllabus. Let me see if I can pull up the syllabus. So we can look at that. But it's good you are bringing up the questions. So let's see the syllabus. Okay, you can see my screen.
Yeah.
See here, module 4. Okay, due July 22.
Yeah, that's the one we
Module
cleared
4.
up. You said that's the discussion board. That's not the writing assignment.
But okay, you can see sometimes they say complete writing assignment, sometimes they say complete discussion board assignment. So all of them are assignments. Okay. So just take it that it's either the discussion board or an assignment. Module 5 is due July 24, Module 6 is due July 26. So which one is because of the confusion? Because for each module, I assign either a discussion or a regular written assignment.
Oh, well, for this first one, you had given us both. So that's why I want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make sure.
I hear you. Only for module 1. Because I know this
Oh,
is summer, so in the summer I do either in the summer and winter I do either or. I try not to burden you with both. No.
okay. So at least I want to make sure the one you said due July 22nd is the discussion board.
Yes.
It's not the writing assignment.
Yes.
Second, just check here.
But you can see I call all of them assignment, discussion board assignment. But you have a point. So in the future, I'm going to make sure that I minimize that confusion. But it's the same thing. It's either a discussion board or it's a regular assignment.
Okay, wait. The discussion board. Okay, so I know you showed us your syllabus says due July 22nd, but now I'm like, when I'm looking in the discussion board, World Health, in the actual discussion board.
It's
See. Okay, World Health here on what I'm looking at in the discussion board says the 25th. When you showed us your screen, it said 22nd.
And which
what I'm saying.
syllabus, which one are you looking at? Let me see. Discussion.
No, not even the syllabus. I'm looking at the actual discussion board on Brightspace. When you look at
Yes,
World Health,
I'm looking at it. I'm going to look at it now.
see,
Okay, I
25th.
see. It says 25th, and that actually says 2023. Let me be sure there is no duplication. Okay, I'm gonna change it right here. Here.
And then the one due for 24. Okay, 24 is a writing assignment. That's fine.
Okay.
Wait, this is weird. Module 5 on the syllabus says it's due July 24. An assignment. That's not an assignment because it's not here for the due date. So let me see. Oh no, so now I'm confused because module 5, I don't even see anything on the discussion board that's due on the 24th.
Let's see. I'm going through this.
Yeah, the dates are very confusing.
Well, I just can't see what it says. One thing here, and why I see something different there. Let me show you what it is. Question. There's one thing there and another thing elsewhere. Forum. Okay, I think it's now changed. Again, thank you for the observation.
Yeah, because I was stressing and I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
I think it's stressed anymore.
Let me see, hold on. Can we go back to the syllabus?
Okay, so you can see my screen now?
1 second. Okay. Yes, I see your screen now.
Okay, all right, so you can see it's changed. We just got into Brightspace, so sometimes when you edit things, you don't know there's another link that needs to be adjusted.
Hmm.
So we are still trying to get over it.
Okay. Okay, so that's due. Okay, that's fixed. Okay, cool.
If you see anything else that needs to be fixed during the course of this class, please let me know, send me an email, and I'll make sure that I fix them.
Okay, give me 1 quick second. Let me just take a look. So this way, like one is dual, I don't have to worry. Oh, mine, I think I have to refresh mine because I don't know why it's not showing. Let me try.
Excuse me, Professor, I just wanted to check in. You said that only the discussion posters are due?
I never said that.
All right,
I
that's what I
said
wanted to double
that
check.
what I said is for each module, except for module 1, for each module, there's either a discussion or a written assignment.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to clarify.
Let me go to 24. 24 is module 5. I don't know if I should be logging out and logging in. I'm only seeing the update for World Health. The other ones, oh, so wait. So the other discussion boards, the dates are gonna update after you post the assignments? Is that what it
Yes,
is?
yes.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, okay, that's why I didn't see it line up. Because then this way I can see when I'm supposed to submit it. And then you have one for the 26th. Okay, so that's the assignment, not the discussion board. The 24 will probably be Okay, so for the paper, you have the number of articles in the syllabus, and then in Brightspace, are two different numbers. You said to use 5 or 7 articles?
Okay, it's 7, so I'm going to make that correction. What you said in Brightspace, it says 7?
Let me tell you right now. So on the syllabus, it says 5 journal articles, and then let me take a look on final paper. Hold on. Oh, I think I'm in the wrong place. I have to look for it. Where's the paper? Yes, you said summary of 7 short papers, but
Okay, syllabus says, let's see, syllabus says 7. Let me be sure what is it here. Okay, it's supposed to be 7, so I'm going to make that. Okay,
so you said 7?
7, because on Brightspace it says 7. The syllabus should also say 7, so that's a typo. I'm going to make the correction.
Okay, and the way it's worded in Brightspace, what you're asking for sounds completely different and confusing
Okay,
compared to what you have on a syllabus. So I guess if you could just explain.
okay. What is confusing about the way it's described in Brightspace? What's confusing? I'll correct it now. This is not the first time students say it's confusing, but to me it's straightforward, but I will always clarify during office hours.
Okay, so when you're saying a summary of 7 short papers, I'm
Yeah.
thinking you're telling us to do write 7 papers and
No,
then oh,
no, 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 no. Okay.
that's
A
why
lot,
it just sounds different.
a lot of students make that confusion. No, it's not right, 7 short papers. That's going to be too much of an assignment anyway. What it is this. Go to a journal, go to a magazine that talks about, drugs and the drug war, the use of drugs or its effects, or whatever, the environment, market environment. Pick 7 different articles. Those articles must be a very narrow topic. I've argued with students about what narrow topic means. And I give a list of broad areas from which you can choose a topic. For example, drugs and gang warfare, drugs and drug cartel. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, when I say that, if you pick a topic that says drugs and drug cartel, I'm going to say the topic is too broad. But you can
Right.
compare the Medellin cartel with the Sinaloa cartel.
Mhm.
And you can actually talk about the history of the leader, the Sinaloa, and the leader of the Medellin. So that's very narrow topic. And you can discuss the differences in the ways they operate. You can even talk about if you have 7 articles on the way the Medellin cartel bribes officials or the way they impose their will in a neighborhood or something like that, and you do the same for the other cartel and compare the differences, or you can say they're quite similar in the way they operate. So maybe there's something about the way that enforcement operates in that industry. That's another topic. If you talk about the way the Medellin operates in Mexico and the way the Medellin operates in Colombia, okay? So essentially you can use that as an opportunity to compare the way the different personalities in the governments function, or the way they behave, or the cultural environment. That's another topic. but don't just say drug cartel. I'm not going to
Okay.
accept that. Okay. So you pick 7 different articles. Summarize each article in 1 page.
Okay.
So right there you have 7 pages. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now after you summarize each article in 1 page, then you write what is called an integrative summary, which is now you're going to do a 1 or 2 page summary, not more than 2 pages, not less than a page, that essentially tie those articles together. Like I said, an opportunity could be there to say, this is the way the Medellin cartel operates in Colombia, and that same cartel, when they operate in Mexico, this is the way they operate. If you can find 7 articles that talk about the operations in those 2 countries, that's fine. Okay, you can compare the Medellin and the Sinaloa. Okay, and say these are the differences. So when you write your integrative summary, you have to link the articles and say, this is something that I learned from reading these 7 articles about whatever topic, okay? And then at the end of it, you then provide a bibliographical list of all the articles you read, citing them bibliographically in the proper way. You can use any MLA, American Library Association, there's ALA. You can use the psychology method. You can use any other method that is known in the industry. And so that's what you need to do. So your article will probably not be more than 10 pages long.
Okay.
That's your annotated bibliography. This is what it is called, annotated bibliography.
Okay.
That's an example, that's a sample that I have. So when the time comes, we can go through the sample again.
Okay. I guess just in case, can we, when we choose our topic, can we just like shoot you an email? So this way we double check?
Absolutely.
Okay. That. I don't know if this is a good question to ask you, but I'm gonna be realistic about this.
Yes, go ahead.
So at least from module 1 and 2,
Mhm.
some of the articles are fine, they're pretty short to read, but like
Mhm.
I think there were like a couple that were like very long, like 54 pages. And so I'm like,
You don't have to read all of those. I think I'm going to sanitize that by making some of them optional if you want to get more information or if you're just curious. Yeah, 54 pages long is much more than what an undergraduate class. For a graduate class, if you're doing a PhD, believe you me, you'll be required to read all of it.
okay, because then it makes me concerned, like if you're assigning all the readings and then if we don't do it and you're saying it's on the final, I don't know which way to go about it. And then it's like we're punching for time.
Okay, send me an email on that so I can sanitize some of those things and make some of them optional.
Okay.
In some modules, I did indicate options.
Oh, I don't know. It was
I
didn't find it clear, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I hear you. What is mandatory is the chapter. If the chapter of the book, if I say it's a chapter of the book that you have to read, you must read the entire chapter. I don't care how long it is. But for the articles, watch the videos because I'm going to refer to the videos in quite a bit of the exam or the homework assignment. Even in the discussion, I could refer to the video.
Okay. So just to make sure, you want me to send you an email to just indicate for us what's optional and what's not?
Yes.
Okay.
Please do.
And the final paper, what is the format like? Multiple choice, short essay?
The final exam.
Sorry, yeah, final exam.
Final
It's been a
exam
long
is,
day.
the final exam is going to be a written exam, no multiple choice. Going to be a written exam. This is why I say I'm going to refer to the articles in some of the questions. But one thing that is very important, if you look at the way this class is structured, and I'm going to use this opportunity now to talk about the class. The course, the way I develop it, other people have different approaches to this class. The way I structure the class is that it is ideologically neutral. If you see some books about the war on drugs, it says, oh, the war on drugs is a waste of money. You know, it should end and all of that. This is not the approach that I am using for this class. The approach in this class is to be neutral, to be ideologically neutral. So you can see that the second chapter of the book that we're using talks about analytical perspectives. Analytical perspectives essentially, somebody's echoing somewhere, okay? Analytical perspective refers to philosophical perspectives about the war on drugs. Oh, okay. So I'm not the one causing the echo. Now it's about the war on drugs. Okay, you have, for example, what they call the deviance perspective. Then you have the rational perspective, and then you have the critical perspective, or you can say the Marxist perspective. Okay, and so you know what you call historical dialectism. Okay, I'm sorry, dialectic analysis. Okay, you know, dialectic materialism. That's what it is. It's dialectic materialism. Now, dialectic materialism, you know, originates from Marxism, from Marxist theory. And now the deviance approach is essentially the conservative approach. And that conservative approach simply, you know, takes the position that there are norms in society, that people who do drugs are people who are deviant in their behavior. These are people who are not conforming to social norms. And so how do they approach the war on drugs? How do they approach dealing with the drug issue in a society? The rational approach assumes essentially that, not really assumes, that postulates that people do things because it serves them a purpose. Okay, and so when people use drugs, there's a reason they do it. You know, people do drugs because it's recreational. Okay, it gives them a high. It's like somebody, you know, drinking a lot of whiskey or alcohol. Why do they do it? Because they want to get a buzz. You know, and then there's the dialectic materialism, the Marxist approach. The Marxist approach simply postulates that in every society and throughout history, there are exploiters and there are exploited. Okay, and exploiters are those who engage in what we call primitive accumulation. And the working class is exploited by the capitalist class. And so the working class takes drugs because they are alienated from the instruments of production and distribution, and therefore, you know, using drugs is a way to escape. Okay, I'm the one causing the echo.
Let me mute my mic so this way maybe it might be me.
Okay, okay. So the whole idea then is when I ask questions, you know, sometimes I will ask you, you know, how will the Marxists see this situation? Okay, or how will the deviance theorists see the situation? And then there are also approaches to the drug war. There is the supply side approach, there's the demand side approach. Okay, the supply side approach, what they do is they try to destroy the drugs at the source. You see, the U.S. government, for example, will go to countries where they produce these drugs and try to destroy the crops, try to destroy the fields, try to attack the cartels, try to get the government. Then there is the demand approach, which tries to discourage people from using drugs because the drugs have effects on them, and they see also the effects on society. And so they go through education. Okay. So when you look at these two approaches, the Marxists will take a different approach. The deviant theorists, what we call the classical or the conservative approach, will take a different, the conservative theorists will take a different approach, and why the rational theorists will also take a different approach, okay? And so I would expect you to understand where each of these theorists is coming from and how they would apply the methods, to eradication of drugs. Okay. And I would expect you to do that, and I'll ask you to be able to, first of all, describe the approach. So this is the way the class will run.
Okay, is it timed?
The exam is timed, yes, usually 90 minutes. There will be about 6 questions in those 90 minutes.
You said 6?
Yeah, usually about 6. Usually, don't hold me to that number. It could be 9, it could be 6, it could be 5.
Again, would you have like word count, require references?
No word count, no requirement for references.
Okay. So I guess it's optional if we decide to use like the articles that you gave us as assigned readings to refer to.
And you
Okay.
can refer to it. Yes.
As long as they're just like, proper spelling and grammar and they answer the
Yes.
question. That's what you're looking for.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, well, that's fine. Just one quick thing, back to the final paper. I know you said 7 articles
Mm-hmm.
and 1 page per,
Article.
right? So if it's double spaced, that means 14 pages.
Oh, I usually prefer, single space or at most 1.5 at most.
Okay, single space. Single space. Will you just somehow, okay, so you're just gonna continuously adjust the dates for the discussion board and the assignments as you go? Because,
Well, if there are discrepancies between the syllabus, I will correct the days. Each time I go in, I'll make sure that there's consistency between what the syllabus says and also what the bright space shows.
okay. Because, Brightspace or, if, I don't know if other people have this option, Brightspace already has like the dates put into our calendars. So it's like, I don't know if they're correct. And then if
I
it
think
closes, I
that
can't submit it.
Yeah, if it closes, you cannot submit, but I think they are correct for the most part. I mean, the discrepancy that you observe now is like it's one of those technical things. Depends on what links I use to set up the dates.
Okay.
So each time I'm going to go and make sure that there's no discrepancy between what the syllabus says and what you see in Brightspace. I'll make sure of that.
Okay. I think that's it for me. Let me just double check actually before I let you go.
Okay.
I think there was a question I sent you via email, so I just want to make sure. Oh, I mean, I guess this is pointless now, but I had just said that In a sense, because I had just said, considering the amount of readings you were asking us to do, I was just overwhelmed, and I was like considering like if I should just take it for the fall, and if you give more time for the readings for the fall. But I guess they would still be pretty packed anyhow, right? Okay. But just out of curiosity, I'm here, I'm in this class, I'm not getting much of my money
Okay.
back if I cancel or whatever, so I'd rather just stay. Do you
Well,
also do it?
you already have what? Today is Thursday, so you already have 4 days. You probably wouldn't get more than 25% of your money back.
Yeah. So, is it like just I think this is more like just for me, really. Are you like condensing the full semester into the summer? I'm
That's
just
what
curious.
happened. That's what it is.
Okay.
They condense 15 weeks of work into 5 weeks.
Okay, I guess I was just trying to understand because I was like, oh my God, it's like every 2 days.
Yes.
But all right, well, thank you so much for your time. If anything, I will email you.
Sure, absolutely. Be my guest. Let me just briefly discuss. Like I said, it's intended to be ideologically neutral. And you can see the title is War on Drugs, Public Policy, History, and Economics. The perspective that I have taken is to look at the war on drugs and ask ourselves, first of all, what is public policy about drugs? Okay. What is the history of drugs and this war on drugs? And secondly, what is the economic foundation that will make it a continuous problem? It's not going to be a problem that is going to be resolved tomorrow. Okay. Okay. First of all, we are going to focus essentially on 2 drugs, and maybe we can add marijuana, but the focus here is on 2 major drugs that really drive the international drug market. One is cocaine, and the other is opium. These are the ubiquitous, the ones that are really make the headlines. I mean, others like others like the other kinds of drugs. And then we also talk about essentially, addictive drugs generally. For example, alcohol. Think about it. It's a psychoactive drug. You take alcohol, you drink a lot of whiskey, you're gonna get drunk. Okay. When people take alcohol, they misbehave. Okay. Um, you know, um, the other kind of addictive substance is tobacco. Tobacco is addictive also. Okay. And so, we're going to mention them in passing, but just going to say focus mostly on cocaine and opium. Now, these 2 drugs have been available throughout history. And these 2 drugs have also been recognized for their addictive characteristics, their addictive properties. People get addicted to them. Okay. Now, what has happened throughout history is that there were times when these drugs were acceptable. But then over time, what we do as human beings is that we have been able, as human beings, as opposed to lions in the jungle or to monkeys or what have you, we have been able to essentially adjust our environment. This is why we live in houses today that 3,000 years ago, people did not live in those kinds of houses. This is why we're close today. This is when we protect ourselves from the elements totally different from people 200 years ago, even 500 years ago. So in the same way, over time, people have recognized that these 2 drugs are addictive. And so we try to prohibit them. For example, as far back as ancient Egypt, opium existed, but it was, allowed. People use it to solve, headaches. People use it to numb themselves. and it was even prescribed by the physicians of that time until the 19th century. I'm talking about until 200 years ago. Okay, these things were prescribed. Something like what you call cocaine today. You know, the codeine that you take actually comes out of cocaine. Okay, the codeine that is a medication, but you can see that codeine is a controlled substance. Okay, but there was a time when it was not controlled. Okay, when you hear Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola comes out of the cocaine that is in coca leaf. Okay, and cola is a West African nut that is highly addictive. You know, it is addictive, but it's a stimulant. Okay, it contains a lot of caffeine in it, but also it's a stimulant, and people chew it for flavor. Okay, for the enjoyment of it. It doesn't have any kind of nutritional value, but it's chewed for flavor. And so somebody got the flavor out of the cola nut, the West African nut, and then extracted the cocaine from coca, and so you have Coca-Cola. Yeah, originally what happened was that they extracted the cocaine and used it to make wine. Okay, I used to make wine, and so you had Vin Mariana. And then, people found out that it was addictive. People found out, that it made people crazy. And so it was prohibited. And so the makers of the Vin Mariana, essentially refined the coca so that they took away the part that makes people drunk or people to become intoxicated. And so now they come with Coca-Cola with a lot of sugar in it and effervescence. And so this is how you got Coca-Cola. All right. So these substances are still there. As a matter of fact, opium is still, like I said, opium from ancient world was used as medication. Okay. And from it today, we get morphine. Morphine is, one of, the choices that doctors have when they inject you during anesthesia, when you're under operation. It's morphine that's it's one of the things that they use. Put it inside you and you fall asleep. This is why in the ancient world, people also use it as anesthesia. But this is why the biological name for opium is papaver somniferum. Okay, because it puts you to sleep. Okay, somniferum is comes from the Latin word somno, somnare, and somnare in Latin simply means to sleep. Okay, and ferum, is a Latin gerund for making somebody sleep. So it's essentially the word for opium in the ancient world, the biological word, simply is called the poppy that makes you sleep. So that's why it's called papaver somniferum. Okay, so and throughout the ancient world, people used it as anesthesia to numb pain. But then we discover that in the modern world, what do? We take it for recreation, just like people drink alcohol for recreation. People, sniff cocaine for recreation. Now, the reason we talk about economics is that because people take these things for recreation, when you prohibit it, there are people who have made money out of it. People make money out of it. And once people make money out of anything, it's difficult to prohibit it. I don't care what it is. This is why somehow tobacco is still there. But everybody knows that tobacco causes cancer. Nevertheless, people use tobacco and live up to 90, 95 years old. And there are people who become addicted to it and they smoke it, and it didn't kill them, but it causes a lot of cancer for a lot of people. One good example, in fact, I'll give you two examples of people that really smoke and smoke like crazy, and they live up to their old age. I don't know if you know Arthur Burns. Anybody here old enough to know Arthur Burns? He was an actor, and he was known for his very thick cigar. and he lived to be 100, and he said it. Said he was going to live to be 100, and people thought he was trying to play God. And he was a very active person until he died like a few days after he turned 100. He said, I'm going to be 100 before I die. And he was known for his big cigar, and he could not take cigar out of his mouth. The other person that I'll give an example for is Golda Meir. Golda Meir was the prime minister of Israel, a female. And people said of Golda Meir that the only time that Golda Meir is not smoking a cigarette is when she's sleeping. Because, and that was true. As she's eating her dinner, she takes a spoon of food and she takes a puff of cigarette. She just can't get away from it. And yet Golda Meir was prime minister of Israel and lived to be in her mid to late 80s. A lot of people smoke cigarettes, and because of the cancer that it causes them, they don't go past 50, they don't go past 40. But then there are many of us who don't smoke and who don't drink and who don't go past 50. Okay, it's some kind of a cancer. Okay, so, but the point of the matter is that cigarette is a money-making thing. People's, because it's something that people ingest for flavor, for the enjoyment of it, it makes money, and you cannot really prohibit it, okay? But there are restrictions on it, so that it doesn't cause cancer, because it, the health effects put a strain on the health delivery system, and it costs everybody money, okay? This is why insurance companies, if they know you smoke, insurance companies will charge you a higher premium for life insurance. And they are allowed by law that if somebody's a smoker, then the insurance company can charge them higher. And this is why they ask you, if you fill out a life insurance form, do you smoke? And if you lie on it, and it turns out when the person died, they find out that the person was smoking, what do you call it? The autopsy show that the person was smoking, they can actually abrogate the entire contract and don't pay you any death benefit, or they can reduce it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So if somebody's a smoker, you better tell that to the insurance company before you buy life insurance, or even health insurance. You're allowed to discriminate based on whether somebody's a smoker or it's not. Okay? So historically, we're going to also discuss the history of these drugs over time. You're going to see it, in the readings as you go. So this is the way the class is structured: the history, public policy, and economics. Okay. That's essentially my synopsis. So if you have any questions, you can ask further questions. Otherwise, it was nice having you around. Any other questions?
Just one quick question. So,
Okay.
since I registered late,
Okay.
I did that because the thing is, the last summer session, they dropped me. So I said, let me just register the first day.
Okay.
I have to wait for the textbook to come in, and I don't see an e-version. Is that gonna affect like me being able to get the assignments done? I haven't taken a look at the future ones since they're not open.
No, not really. Let me see. Maybe I have the first two chapters. I think I loaded the first two chapters of the book for everybody. I did. In that way, whether the book comes early or late wouldn't matter. You send me an email. Let me check if the first two chapters are there.
Okay. So just email you and ask for a copy of the first three chapters.
Yes.
Okay. Well, at least that's a head start. All right. Thank you.
Okay then.
All right. Enjoy your evening.
And you too. Enjoy your evening, everybody. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Me too.